Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Want more?
Look for.
Season 4.
Bum. That's right, folks. We are doing So You Want to Be an Imagineer's 4th year of Christmas in July. Can you believe this, Dragon? In one more year, this will have been 5 years. Of course, we're not going to be doing quite as many of these as we usually do. We're going to be doing 12 of them, and this means, Dragon, we're quarter of the way there at this point, right?
Yeah, give or take.
1/4.
Yeah.
1/4. Fractions. Yeah. Math. Yeah. You know who I bet is good at math because he just seems like a smart guy all around?
Who?
Matlock!
You're darn tootin', yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so Dragon, this is the first exposure I've ever had to Matlock besides the obvious references on Better Call Saul. So I was a little behind on the side characters and everything, as usual, it took me a while to get adjusted to the names, and I gotta say, this is a lot of fun, and the character of Matlock himself, my god, man, he is just so lovable.
Yes, he is. Good old.
He is like modern day Atticus Fitch, I tell you.
True, and in many ways, you see why June McGill based his season 1 persona off of him.
Oh yeah, he's a lawyer you can trust, 100%.
And honestly, just to address it before we go into it, because we keep mentioning Matlock, and half the reason we picked Matlock is because of Better Call Saul. So just to address it, if you look at the parallels of Better Call Saul with Matlock, he's going for the lawyer you can trust vibe, but at the same time, Jimmy's story, based on where we are now with Jim McGill, he's now the furthest thing ever from Matlock. Absolutely, by the end of season,
sure.
Absolutely the furthest thing away from Matlock, being the trusted lawyer to the elderly.
Right.
But even like Jim McGill outside of the Matlock suit, he was kind of like a Matlock who's struggling, but he would do the right thing when it boiled down to it. Like he would give back the money as Jimmy did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a little interesting thing just finally watching an episode of Matlock.
Yeah, this was kind of a fun little experiment and kind of dipping our toe into different sectors of the Albuquerque verse. Of course, this features an appearance by a very, very young and handsome-looking Mr. Bryan Cranston.
Are you saying he's not? Are you saying he's not handsome now?
No, I'm just saying it's just striking. My God, he had really good looks when he was younger.
Oh yeah.
Just saying. So yeah, Bryan Cranston is in this episode, of course. Dragon, I gotta say, he doesn't really get to do a hell of a lot. You kind of overhype the Cranston of it all.
Oh, but still, it's fun. It's Cranston in a Santa suit, just
I know. But when you said Cranston in a Santa suit, I thought Cranston was going to be I don't know. It wasn't as fun as I was expecting it to be, but still, it was nice. All right, that's the
novelty of it.
Sure. The novelty of Cranston in Matlock is certainly a good time, especially because this is by far the youngest I've ever seen Cranston act. So
right.
Okay, so Dragon, any backstory on Matlock or anything? I don't know.
No, not really. Just again, it's Matlock. It's one of the classics. Of course, with your lawyer shows, you got Perry Mason, you got Matlock. Those are kind of the two golden kind of guidelines for a law show.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's just dive right into the intro. Then we start at just an office party, not an office party, just a house party full of Santas.
A highfalutin Christmas party filled to the brim with Santa Clauses.
Yes. Oh boy. If you have a Santa phobia, folks, don't go to this party.
So let's see. So not only is it a gathering of Santas, but it's gathering Santas at a very very well-known doctor's residence, Dr. Maggie Crowley. Dr. Maggie Crowley, and we're going to learn a little bit about her as the special goes on. But the party's going on. It seems to be a nice, again, highfalutin gathering, kind of the kind of the gray matter type parties, if you will, just kind of pull from the Albuquerque verse a little.
Yeah, a little bit. I can see that. I can see that.
Definitely the Schwartzes live there.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so Maggie and her precious young daughter Wendy, they ascend wearing all white. I believe Wendy has like an angel gimmick because she has like these wings on her back or something. They're wearing all white. They look cute.
Dragon,
and
I'm only gonna make this joke once just because Breaking Bad. All right. Everyone knows it's Wendy. That's the one time I get to use that joke. It's like Spider-Man. Everyone only gets one.
Okay.
All right.
So anyway, they descend. They greet the guest. Wendy is seeking out Peter, who I'm pretty sure is like the boyfriend to Maggie. Points like Peter's like the closest of all the colleagues at this party.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So Wendy's seeking out Peter. Say hi. I think it's kind of what Maggie's pushing for. Say hi to Peter.
No. What it is she's asking her mom for eggnog, and her mother's like, "Oh, go ask Peter."
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. That makes
sense.
All right. Okay. So Wendy's seeking out Peter in the Sea of Santas, and I just love. So I want to highlight the special for it right off the bat. I love how we have kind of our classic mystery sort of setup here, where
it does have a good setup. Yeah.
We're definitely going to have, like, with this Sea of Santa Claus, and we know that just based on, like, the screenshot and everything, Cranston's going to be a Santa Claus. You understand the mistaken identity in this case.
Of course.
You kind of get that from the get-go. Okay, something bad's going to happen. They're not going to be able to tell who the guy is because they're all dressed as Santa Claus. So she finds Peter and Jim, Dr. Jim Lord, a plastic surgeon, who we're going to meet a little bit more.
But Jim, it's lunch!
But Jim, it's Nog.
Nog.
So let's see. Peter, I believe, sets her up with some non-alcoholic eggnog because he's a responsible adult.
Of course.
Well, we're gonna find out maybe not so responsible, but he's
even criminals have a level of respect, Dragon. Respect is an important thing in the criminal underworld.
Yes, it is.
Oh God.
So it sets her up some non-alcoholic eggnog. Shares that Wendy lets it slip that her father's showing up, Maggie's ex-husband, is coming, which everyone's shocked that, wait, her husband's coming? But they know that she hates her husband like the plague.
Walter White's coming?
Essentially, Maggie is Skylar White in this episode.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, it's not
She's the worst parts of Scott. Basically, the worst of Skylar White's kind of like embodied.
And she's basically treating this guy like a drug dealer.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah, so really it could be Breaking Bad.
Well, let's not go that
far. I mean, this could be in the future, and Walter White could have survived, and Wendy is Holly. Okay, I'm done.
And here's the thing, Maggie wanted to change.
Oh, God.
Wanted no association because Walt came up with the name Holly. She wanted no association.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You know what? I'm going to name you after that nice lady we ran into in that parking lot that one time. I'm going to name you Wendy.
Exactly. It makes too much sense.
You remember that business that Walter Jr. and got into with that woman named Wendy? I'm going to name you Wendy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which really, she did not know the full story there, so it was a horrible idea. But
it all ties together, folks. It all ties together. It's all there. It's all there in the St. Elsewhere snow globe.
Okay, back to the plot.
All right. That was fun. Yeah, sure. So let's see. Basically the plan is that Santa's going to sneak in as Santa. He's going to blend right in. And then, when's he coming? About 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, that's in 20 minutes. So, yeah, time is of the essence here.
Let's see. So, Wendy arrives, and it seems like Dr. Lord's about to rat Wendy out, but he doesn't, which was a nice bit, I thought, where he could have just, said, oh, yes, Wendy just told me the darnest little secret, and basically said something along the lines, she doesn't think I'm the real Santa.
I
think it was a really nice bit after Wendy leaves to again continue this little plan of hers. It was a really nice bit where it says to another guy who we're going to meet later on. It says, yeah, Christmas really is for the kids.
Sure is, isn't it?
Yeah. Nice little bit there.
I like how we get some, a little bit of adult cynicism mixed in with the Christmas whimsy in this episode. It's a good kind of it's a good set of sort of sweet and sour. That's kind of how I describe it.
Yeah, we understand why that guy's so grumpy, and we learned that later on. So it's kind of
right.
Again, little breadcrumbs here and there. Okay, so set the jingle bells. Very, again, remind me a little bit of Twas the Night, I gotta tell you. Plus, it was like a rich person's, it was a rich person's Christmas party.
And
it was
Cranston's like sneaking in.
And he's got a bag.
Yep.
I'm just saying, reminds me a lot of Nick from Was the Night, where he's breaking into as under the guise.
It's not nearly as entertaining as that, but
no, but still, maybe some seeds were planned for Cranston's career. You know what? I like being Santa.
Oh man.
And of course, let's not forget, in Breaking Bad, we do see Walter White in a Santa suit.
Yes, we do.
All comes together. Anyway, so
dude, I would just watch a Walter White Santa movie. Or, I mean, just a Bryan Cranston Santa movie. I mean,
I would love it if and why him be dressed in a Santa suit just to continue it, but that probably didn't.
God. Anyways,
so set the jingle bell. Santa with a bag sneaks in while like the other Santas are kind of valet parking. Like he just kind of sneaks in, strolls in.
Mm-hmm.
No one notices. He sneaks upstairs and he visits Wendy, and there's a adorable little bit where where he enters saying, "It's Daddy Claus."
Oh God! And it's like, there's the Cranston we know. There he is.
I gotta tell you, I think Cranston is not used a lot in this, but I gotta tell you, I think he brings I could see that level of Cranston where it's like the guy in real.
Well, like I said, this is like early in his career, right? So you can still see like the twinges of what he'll become. Like he's not quite grown into the peak of charisma that he'd get in something like Malcolm in the Middle. But young Cranston, he's still he's on the ropes. He's getting his footing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have this. You can see like where we have Cranston now in real life, where he in his life he has a daughter, so you kind of see a lot of that real life kind of like sweet relationship between a father and a daughter kind of come through at this point, this early on here.
Sure.
So it's just really nice is the fact that in real life he has a daughter and seeing how well he interacts with this kid here.
Mm-hmm.
It's Daddy Claus. He's a very loving father. We see it's not setting it that it's like he's after money or anything. He's just he just genuinely wants to see his kid, and the mother's a real taskmaster, not letting him see her.
So basically, he's a Sandman.
Well, I wouldn't go that far with it.
Well, I should say like after the initial murder, that's when it's like, okay, now is he the Sandman? I mean, let's get to the murder. Let's get to the murderer.
Okay, let's see. So, I think it's like the best kind of Cranston one in a Santa suit. That's what we're dealing with here. He gives it's a Cranston bearing gifts as he gives not on Christmas Eve, but before Christmas because she wants to. Well, I'm not supposed to open this gift until Christmas. Well, this is probably the closest thing we're gonna have to exchanging gifts on Christmas. Why don't you open it now? She opens it up. And let's see, it's a little doll. It's a little doll she names Emily Amelia.
Mm-hmm. Very weird name.
I know, really. I mean, did you hear anything else? Because I could have sworn it was like Emily Amelia.
I think it's Emily Amelia. Yeah. I don't want to dwell on it too much because it's just kind of weird and a little off-putting, but whatever.
Like a nice kind of moment here where then she gives her gift that she hid, and the idea is she hid a gift for her father, knowing this little plan was coming up there. She wrapped it herself. She hid it, and then she gives it to Daddy Claus here, and it's a little picture of him that she drew. And I was like, And
of course, Cranston is just like early on, like young Cranston. He's still getting his Emmy on, man.
Oh yeah. And they have this beautiful little hug goodbye, and then unfortunately it is interrupted by Maggie, who just stumbles upon the whole
interrupted by Skylar White.
Honestly, I gotta tell you, watching this, I was so surprised that they were going this way with Maggie. It was like, no, I thought she seemed like a nice doctor at first. Like, oh my god, this one was horrible. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, so she enters and reminding Emerson, Bryan Emerson, so that's our Cranston Santa's name. Kind of fitting. It's Brian.
Of course, his name is Brian.
It's funny that it's Brian spelled differently, though.
Right.
That's the funny thing to me. I don't understand why they couldn't just let it be spelled the other way. I would get what advantage there is. Anyway, so she reminds Emerson about the restraining order she took against him, and she says that she's called the police. Really, she's about to, and basically saying the response time should be within 3 minutes. So you have 2 minutes to flee.
Jeez, lady.
Yep, And then she yells at poor Wendy. Wendy was like, she's really just yelling at her, like showing no compassion, like, "Oh, I'll explain it to you later." Saying, "No, Wendy, I'll deal with you later," essentially. But all sweet.
Yeah, right. She's just showing no compassion at all.
And then this
very
bit,
unpleasant.
This bit to me was really touching. This bit where right before he has to leave now, she hugs him and she's all Wendy's all upset. It's like, "I didn't tell her, Daddy. I didn't tell her." Oh my God, breaks your heart.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Maggie's putting in the 911 call for traumatic irony. She's putting in the 911.
So I love the details we get here. Like the dog is in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Importantly.
Dog's in the room. She calls 911 and names Bryan.
Yeah, she name drops Bryan. Yes.
Of course, we have an ominous Santa enter as she's putting in the call. Again, 911's on the phone, so there are witnesses, technically.
Mm-hmm.
This Santa grabs a blunt object and, as she implicates Bryan, saying, "Bryan, what are you doing?" And then, can we hear her last shrieks, as she's being beaten to death.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Dragon. At this point, I wasn't really sure if it was just like they took a dramatic turn with the Bryan character. So it's like, okay, so is he Sandman?
No, he's not Sandman.
I mean, obviously, once he meets Matlock, and Matlock's really sympathetic to him, obviously we take a turn, but...
He's not stealing for his daughter, he's just trying to do...
No, I know, but if he killed his wife, he'd kind of be Sandman.
Sandman didn't kill his wife. Where's the Sandman connection coming from? Yes, not everyone who has a daughter is the Sandman, T.
All right. To be fair, I'm just kind of being goofy for the sake of being goofy with the Sandman thing.
Anyway, so then I will say this is like Bryan being very foolish here. This unnecessarily took his glove off, which I don't get. But he enters, sees all the hubbubs about it. Basically, he's about to explain to Maggie, "Look, Maggie," he's about to leave. He's about to give something saying, "Maggie, you can't keep doing this. I just want to be your father." That sort of talk, like the same old run around. Like a kind of a sheepish apology, he'll leave. But then he sees, oh my God, she's dead. He checks the body, and then he foolishly picks up with an ungloved hand.
That was kind of dumb.
I have to say, I like this special. I got to point that out. I mean, first of all, why does he have the one glove off? And secondly, just why would he pick it up with the ungloved hand of all hands?
Yeah.
And then just worst moment for him happens where as he's like standing over the body, then the rest of the Santas enter because the dog's barking now.
Yeah, the Santa Brigade comes.
Yep, Santa Brigade comes.
Also, it's kind of an important note to that the dog is barking when Bryan enters, but the dog is silent when the actual killer comes.
Oh yeah, so they all witnessed yes, they all witnessed the misunderstanding.
Oh
End
yes.
End of like kind of the opening.
Da, da, da. All right. Okay, Act 2. We have Matlock introduced for the first time. And Dragon, like I said, I gotta say, this guy is he's just a very pleasant man. I don't know. I was really charmed by him.
Very lovable Andy Griffith, who also is one of the Frosty specials, by the way.
Wait, this is Andy Griffith?
Yes, Tiki. It's
Andy Griffith. Andy Griffith show, Andy Griffith?
Yes!
Oh, holy shit. I knew he sounded familiar. I'm sorry. I'm dumb when it comes to casting. Wow, okay. Well, that shows how much I know about pop culture, folks. I mean, no, Dragon, it's funny. It's like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love the Andy Griffith show. Obviously, that was when he was a lot younger. So, I knew there was, like, this lovable quality to him. And I was like, I really like this guy. But, yeah, now it makes sense. It's like Grandpa Andy Griffith. All right. I can buy into it now. All right, I'm on the same page now, Dragon. Tiki smart.
Well, we'll see for how long. So.
Oh, not for long at all. Trust me.
All right. So later, Emerson is explaining to Matlock again, very with the Better Call Saul parallel, and very much like the lawyer is now called to handle the mess.
Exactly.
Let's see. Emerson is explaining to Matlock he didn't kill Maggie. He explains he did not kill Maggie, and basically, I love this. This is where I fall in love with Matlock here. Bear in mind, I know Matlock in the Collective. Okay, one of the two iconic lawyers. I've never really watched the show. It's like I'm really getting a good crash course on what Matlock's all about.
Yeah, that's the thing with me. It's like I never watched the show. Like I knew him in the Collective Consciousness, so that's. I'm surprised that I never knew he was Andy Griffith, but I guess I should have known.
I did look into a few details, so we're not going to be completely lost here. So I know a few things. I know like kind of the very foundational basics on Matlock here.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, he's a really good-hearted, smart lawyer who he would like to make money, but he's inclined to be sympathetic on people and do the pro bono cases. But he can be a little curmudgeonly at times.
Mm-hmm.
Very all-around good guy.
All right.
Okay, so as Emerson's explaining, he's trying to understand, why would you marry this woman?
Well, I was in love with her, and but so Brian's basically telling the story of how they fell in love, but he essentially put her through med school, and it's kind of just turned into just sort of him being an ATM to her. Not really telling the story as good as Cranston tells it, of course, but Matlock nonetheless is, of course, very sympathetic to this. He's like, look, I don't always take pro bono cases, but it's almost Christmas. Very nice on Matlock. Good old Grandpa Andy Griffith.
Well, I gotta tell you, this is like one of those. You're right with the kind of everyone's Grandpa Andy Griffith moment there. One of my favorite moments in the special is that bit at the end there, after he lays out the story of how she just kind of used them and then locked him out of his own child. Again, this is a really mean lady, folks. Let's not forget this. She used him for his money to get through. He stopped his college learning to put her through med school.
Yeah, exactly, right.
And again, once the kid was born, then he realized, oh my god, this lady's so mean. And then again, like the kid's born, well, maybe not the minute, but a few years into it, then she's like making sure he can't see the daughter anymore. It's because she's one really mean lady. But
Dragon, I think we on So You Want to Be an Imagineer have a term for a type of person like this.
A Skylar.
No. Dragon, I simply put, Dragon, I don't think she's a nice girl.
Oh, of course. Oh, yes. I don't think she's a nice girl at all.
Yeah, but I don't think so either.
One of my favorite bits in the special is like when just with that grandfatherly figure, so the like all-American hero vibe here. Says,
right.
Where he says, it is almost Christmas. Basically saying, I don't usually take this on, but it is almost Christmas. And he gives such a smile at the end. It's such a genuine holiday. It's like a Garfield moment. It's one of those.
There are some nice Garfield moments in here.
Bear in mind, folks, our new running gags, like Garfield was like the pinnacle of holiday cheer.
I like how quickly that's catching on for us.
It is such like a Garfield moment when he gives that smile after he says, like, "Oh man, you're in good hands with Matlock. I'm feeling so well represented with Matlock."
Right.
Okay, on to the courthouse.
Okay. Yeah, back to the courthouse. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Matlock. I'm sorry. I'm terribly with that.
The prosecution, they're basically talking about bail right now. So the prosecution, our guys going after our good guys here.
Yeah. We have basically they're kind of arguing about a flight risk, especially basically they're accusing Brian of kidnapping Wendy and fleeing, which is just very heinous accusation there.
It is, but to be fair, it's kind of like if someone has as a kid, basically the circumstances of him breaking in are about this kid. It does make sense to make that accusation.
I guess so. It just kind of leads you to feel more sympathetic towards this guy, I guess.
Absolutely. Oh, well, you feel the sympathy for him throughout, especially at the end of this scene here. So. Matlock, again, being the very competent lawyer that he is. I love seeing him in the courtroom. I got to tell you, that's where I'm getting a lot of jazzed on my mind. You're like, yeah, he's so good in the courtroom. Look at him. He runs it. He points out the special circumstances and that he is now the sole parent to a child, and he wants. I
will say that is one of the things about this special that I'll nitpick is that they sure as hell just gloss over the fact that this girl's mother is dead, right?
Well, again, it's kind of this weird balance they struck because here's why they did this, Tiki, and here's kind of the mentality of TV then versus TV now. Seriously though, it's they have to so you don't get broken hearted over basically because we can't focus on the murder victim too much. can't focus on her. We have to
Right.
make her unlikable, and in
Oh,
doing so, we
God.
make our real victim, Bryan Cranston, all the more likable. So we have to make one very unlikable, and basically we can glaze over that, but we still have to address the fact that she has lost her mother, even though we don't like her mother.
Yeah,
So
that
it's a
was
weird
one,
balancing act.
that
They have
was
to
one of
strike.
those like weird, like I understand what you're saying about it just being a different era of TV because that's kind of the only, it's kind of a relic sort of thing at that point.
Again, it's a weird balance, but again, like because they made her so mean, I really it doesn't bother me. That's the point. That's what they're going for. So they want it's exactly what they're going for. They want to make me not care about the
Exactly,
dead. I don't.
exactly.
I care about Chris getting to see his daughter again, not going to
Oh
prison.
God, oh God.
So that's just basically he should be free so he can take care of a child. And again, it is around Christmas.
Mhm. So the bail
And
is set for. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He also has a spirit says, don't make this child. He has one of these great lawyer moments here, which says, don't make this child suffer. Suffer more on Christmas at one of those institutions, one of those dreary institutions.
Mhm.
Basically like a foster home, some kind. Bail set is then set. Basically, the judge instead of no bail at all sets a really high bail at 200. What's bail?
250,000.
Which he cannot afford.
Nope. And then, so basically, Matlock brings up Georgia versus Williams. Dragon. I'm assuming that's something that happened earlier on in the show. I don't know, or maybe it's a running gag. You see, I don't watch Matlock, so I don't like. I feel like that should be a reference to something.
Well, yeah. The latest thing, I just assume that I would assume whenever you cite a court case, it probably didn't happen as an episode on Matlock. It's just a guess. It's just like
Okay.
it might be something like episodes we didn't see. It could have happened. I don't know, but the main point of this is that
Like, I'm just wondering if it's serialized, and at some point, like Matlock really screwed this guy over.
I know there's like basically they have character departures, and then they bring their character departures, and they'll bring new characters in, and that's like the only real continuity there is in the show, from my understanding. But again, I have not watched it; I just know the very foundational basics of it.
Uh-huh.
With that said, I don't know if there's any how much pre-existing history there is here, but essentially the idea is like these two had a case where it got really heated, and it seems like the judge may not be keen on Matlock, who's taking it out on the case. Basically, it's a really ballsy accusation to say a judge is being unethical.
Yeah, definitely.
That's essentially what Matlock's doing. Again, Matlock's got some putzfuzz on him. You got to give him that. He's really. And again,
he fights for the people.
Yeah, he approaches the bench and he called him out on it, and I love that. Even like the prosecution's kind of like trying to quail, trying to quail Matlock. Saying, "Hey, amp it down." But she's trying to help him even.
Right.
And let's see. So basically, yeah, he's making some really gutsy accusations of he's holding a grudge against Matlock, and they're basically getting really incensed at each other. They really are. Like they're like one foul move away from like holding him in contempt, and like just getting really ugly in there.
Mm-hmm.
But Matlock again, he shows you how much he cares about this kid.
Yeah, he composes himself.
Unfortunately, it's a no-go for the reduced bail. But bail said 250,000. He goes back to assure Emerson that everything's going to be fine. He'll work something out. I know at a certain point in the series, Matlock starts to take on maybe because of this homework. I don't know if it's like directly because of things like this. He his standard fee at some point is 100,000.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But bear in mind, he gets like kind of shafted out of the pay a lot of the time because again he takes pro bono cases, he takes leniency, he takes he helps people out a lot. So that's kind of why he probably wouldn't be able to just instantly pay the guy's bail.
Sure.
Anyway, so he says he'll work something out, which is that he's going to watch the kid, which is a nice gesture.
It is.
All right.
Kid gets written out of the special pretty quickly, but hey, it was nice while it lasted. All right, but in all seriousness, we do get this very heart-tugging scene where Matlock has to, oh God, Dragon, it's such a real-world issue, right? Like, yeah, you can't see your father on Christmas because your father might have murdered your mother. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know, just, very harsh. I mean, look, Matlock's putting it the best way he can. You know what I mean? He's being a grandpa about it, but...
I just want to make sure we're not jumping ahead here. We're talking about the nighttime scene, right?
No, I'm talking about the first time that he comes in.
You're not talking about the cereal thing, are you?
No, I'm not talking about the cereal thing.
Okay,
no.
good. Right. Sorry, I just want to make sure. Yes, I got you.
No, I'm talking about the first time that he talks to the girl.
Right.
He basically has to explain why the father can't be there, right? Or am I?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's he gets in the speaks of that in the morning. But before, it's like there's a scene at night, real quick. There's a scene at night where he's tossing and turning, and he finds Wendy at his bedside. She can't sleep, so Matlock he reads to her.
Oh, this is really sweet.
Reads to her the what is it? The Trey Red catalog, kind of like a J. Peterman catalog or something. You know, it's like all these like things you can order, and basically reads like the story about like.
Look at that! A traveler's raincoat special comes in 5 colors. One size fits all. No, Dragon, this is classic like Andy Griffith show. Andy Griffith right here.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just have my notes. He acts so well he could read the phone book. It's like a classic case of that. Oh, they can't guarantee the cola, so you'll have to get a second choice. Now I don't like that very much. What do you think?
Okay, so Christmas away from a parent, there's a trope.
Oh yes, very much so. Very much
Murder around the holidays, there's that too.
The killer Santa.
Yeah,
which is a trope. It's very much a trope.
Right, so after that scene,
thanks, R.L. Stein.
So after that, it's morning. He's pouring her cereal and telling her father. This is when she tells her that their father's not going to be joining them for breakfast.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
And basically, he's asking if she understands the concept of death. Delicately, he's asking this. I'm just being a little.
It's very yeah.
And then he explains real nicely because again she understands it, but she's getting the semantics. He's getting the semantics of why her father is not able to join. Basically, explaining that your father is under suspicion of killing your mother.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like the perfect explanation of like what a lawyer does to a child. I thought just saying it's my job. I know your father didn't do this. She's saying, but there's no way he could have. He says, I know that. It's my job.
It's my job to prove it. Yeah,
very nice. Showed that he didn't. And Cassie, this is Matlock's file clerk. She's like the secretary essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Cassie arrives to watch Wendy. Wendy wants to come, and he says, no. You stay here with Cassie. You'll have fun. Meanwhile, the idea, I think the suggestion is like Matlock's done some running around, then he's heading to the office, not directly to the office, because then this would make no sense. But
right, yeah, exactly.
So Matlock, he's been handling legal errands for the case, and he returns to his office, and he finds...
hey, Squidward, are you finished with those errands?
Right. He finds Tyler Hudson. Hudson is Matlock's PI.
Oh, okay. This was another one of those situations, Dragon, where I wasn't sure of this guy's name until like halfway through the episode. So,
and what do we find Hudson doing?
He's trying to pick a lock with Wendy. Teaching Wendy a very practical, like Mike Ehrmantraut style skill.
Yeah. And he explains,
now you see, Kaylee, this is how you pick the lock right.
I would die for that scene.
I think we might get it. I would not be surprised.
Well, again, there was kind of that sweet kind of like in some ways, Kaylee has saved Mike's life a couple times.
Yeah, for sure.
Because again, she saved him with the pig, the little battery operated pig. He used that, and he would have been dead had it not been for that pig.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, back on top here, and basically Matlock's like questioning why the heck is she here, and Hudson explains that Cassie had to go to file something at the county clerk's office, so now he's watching her for a little while until he's relieved of duty.
Mm-hmm.
And he explains that Matlock's kind of questioning the ethical the ethical validity of teaching this child to pick locks, young as she is, and he explains basically he kind of has like a little bit you thought that's what I was doing, but no. This drawer is never locked, but it accidentally became locked. But she accidentally locked it, so I'm teaching her how to unlock it.
Nice.
It's nice.
And then Mike Ehrmantraut's in the corner like, yeah, listen to the man. It's a practical skill. She should learn it.
I'm still picturing is he in a chair with his glasses doing like a crossword puzzle, and they kind of lifts it down saying, "Atta girl, you're doing good."
Right. Oh God.
Anyway, so then Michelle enters. Michelle, from what I understand, I don't know all the ins and outs. I know that Matlock, he lost his daughter. I believe his daughter was his initial partner in the firm, and then she went off to do other things. She moved somewhere.
Okay.
He went to London, and he met Michelle, who essentially became, I want to say, his Kim Wexler moving forward.
Okay.
I don't mean romantically. I just mean like the Kim Wexton in terms of like it's kind of his partner in crime, like the other lawyer of the thing running things.
Right.
So Michelle enters.
Yes. And right as Matlock whisks her into the office, Tyler gets right back to work with the file cabinet.
Yep. Matlock's playing the threatening message. Basically the taped 911 call.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, sorry, not the 911 call. That's later, but we have
the threatening message machine.
Yes, basically she had been receiving threats beforehand, and he's playing that.
Tonight's the night you get what you've been asking for.
Yep.
Very ominous.
Kind of a vague threat, though.
It is.
It's not exactly like, I'll kill you or anything. It's just like, hey, you're going to get just what you deserve.
Well, hey, I think in the semantics of the legalese, it's like if you don't threaten with anything in particular, then they can't really do anything. So I think that might be part of it.
So listening to this, it does not sound like the great and powerful Bryan Cranston at all. So they realize, okay, something's fishy here.
I mean, he's the Power Rangers guy himself. What's that guy?
He's the one who knocks, after all. Come on.
Yes, he is the one who knocks. Thank you for saving me there. Anyways,
so Wendy interrupts. She's excited that she opened the cabinet. Yay for me!
Hooray! As Todd from BoJack Horseman would say, "Hooray!" Just to work in a little Jesse Pinkman.
Let's see. Following that, basically they find a connection between between the murder with that message. With that the fact that does not sound like Bryan.
Right. So Matlock asks if she's sure that she didn't tell anyone the father was coming, and she's like, "Well, I told Peter, and there were 2 other Santas with him."
We have who'd you tell? Santa Claus. Which one? It's a great back and forth. That to me is like a guy would have been great in like a promo or something.
You're right.
Did you tell anyone else? Santa Claus. Which one?
Which one? Oh God.
Tonight on Matlock. So she told Peter, Dr. Lord, and there was some other guy.
And then after that commercial fades out, you need a lawyer you can trust. Gimme Jimmy. And now we return to Matlock.
Next on the Home Shopping Network, umbrella trees. Do you have one?
Oh God. Okay.
Yes. So let's see. So we now have suspects. We have 3 people who knew that Cranston was there, so it could be set up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. All right. So Matlock and Hudson head to the house to look for clues. Very much like I'm going to use the main legal show that I do know, Better Call Saul.
Of course.
I know a few others. That's my favorite one I want to mention right now. You'll remember when the Kettlemans, you're in danger. Yes. When they disappeared, of course, the lawyer went to the client's, the prospective client's house to kind of look for some clues and look for some directions for him.
Sure.
Very much what Matlock's doing here is looking to help prep his case, looking for clues.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he and his PI are doing right now. Let's see. So we get to the house. All right. Michelle's also watching Wendy. I should probably note that. They're going to have a good time, she promises. So Matlock gets the guest list so they can find out all these other. Basically, trying to find out who the third guy is.
Kind of cross-reference the names, yeah.
Yeah, he gets some addresses too, probably.
Mm-hmm.
He is then attacked by that frickin' dog.
And the dog barking becomes quite the plot point, so I kind of like how that's set up.
That darn Toto.
I don't think we're in Better Call Saul anymore, Toto.
Oh yeah, it's Peter. Peter enters, and I think it's pretty assumed that he's the current boyfriend. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But Peter, you had to play psychologist with us. Sorry, room reference.
Anyway, so Peter claims to have no idea who called in the death threat, or who called in the threatening message.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they're on a hunt for the third Santa now, and I know out of the 3 guys, there's one unaccounted for.
Mm-hmm.
Hudson has basically this idea of using the parking list because whoever did probably did. It's something basically using the parking list to find out who the guy is.
So, in other words, Hudson had an idea.
Yes, he did, Tiki. He had an idea.
A clever and practical idea.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And that's
A
all it
clever,
was.
practical, and helpful idea.
All right. Okay.
So then we have this gag here. And it's like something Matlock does a lot. They infuse like some kind of like jovial, like kind of Hallmark humor here and there, where it's, like, hey, the dog's coming for him. Oh, we got to get in the car fast.
Right.
All right, so Michelle, like how practical and kind of Kim Wexler like Michelle's being in this scene here, where she's talking to Dr. Lord, chasing down a lead of her own.
Mm-hmm. No, wait, where's the kid?
Well, no, the kid's probably with Cassie now. I mean, saying she's watching a few
This is what I'm saying, Dragon. It's like a small nitpick. It's like the kid just kind of gets dropped out of the plot after a
Imagine how that conversation would go. Hey, we're going to have a lot of fun. Let me show you to someone who might have killed your mother.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, God.
This guy might have killed your mom, and you were there. You helped it happen. See that guy just pointing like so excitedly. See that guy over there? You see him? See him? He beat your mother brutally to death with a blunt object. Merry Christmas!
Oh, we have a sick sense of humor, don't we?
Anyway.
All right.
There's the kid. That's what kind of stuff you open the floodgates with. Where's the kid? Remember that. So, Michelle's talking to Dr. Lord, who does not know who the third Santa was either. He doesn't know either. And then he's asking some very offensive questions, asking, who do your nose or your eyes? And of course, she's very offended. No, they're mine. They're mine. Now, let's see. Michelle, I believe, implies that all the stuff that, basically saying that he does have motive. And she can prove that he has motive, because all the stuff that Maggie put those three guys through, basically all the stuff she put them through would be motive enough to kill her.
So with this guy, like, wasn't she cheating on Peter with this guy, essentially? From what I understand, I hope I have that right.
Peter was being cheated on. I forget if it was with this guy or not, but she was being cheated on. She's known to be kind of like, loose, a little bit like that.
So she's basically Lisa from The Room?
If that helps.
It helps me, yes.
I guess. All right. And also, something to hit here, though, is that they're starting, like, I believe, a restaurant. They're starting a small business together, which is a restaurant.
Yeah, that's an important plot point for sure.
Which is the other motivator. Now, let's see. And of course, like, all the stuff was in her name, too. That's the other thing to hit. Everything was in her name. All right, let's see. So following that, Spawn's like kind of scares him with some motive there. Meanwhile, Tyler is going. Tyler's going to the museum.
He's going to see Wilson Fisk, of course. Where else would he be going?
No. Oh my God. Young D'Onofrio.
As soon as I saw the art gallery, I was like, Fisk. Okay.
Lawyers. Oh, another lawyer show, technically.
Yeah, exactly. See, it all ties together, Dragon. It all ties together. What happens is that this Wilson Fisk Phil, Mr. Phil here, he gets very nervous when Tyler starts interrogating him about the home phone number that was listed 6 times. Being called, that he called her home phone number. And so Fisk is like, sorry, I just have Fisk in my notes because I didn't know the guy's name.
Phil, all right?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm just reading my notes. I had to have a placeholder. So Phil, he's like, oh yeah, sure. Come back here, buddy. And I'll tell you everything you need to know. And of course he instead plays a dirty trick and knocks out Tyler.
Yeah.
I think Fisk would do something like that.
Well, no, Fisk would do a lot worse to him. But
that's true. That's true. I take.
Thank God they weren't outside or near a parked car.
All right. So, Dragon, it is actually lunch.
Yes.
Okay, so we basically get some exposition about the judge. The judge is cranky that he's not spending, that his children are spending Christmas with his ex-wife.
You talking about? No, we have a scene before that.
Do we? I'm so sorry.
So after he knocks out Hudson, this is kind of
sure?
weird. I understand how you got this screwed up, because what happened here is it's a really bizarre thing here where after he knocks out Hudson, we then cut to later on in the day to Phil's house.
Okay.
And it's kind of is like a thing of its time where it's just like we're going to make it all exciting as possible for a lawyer show. Where basically Hudson he crashes through Phil's window. And chases him again. It's like we have to work in as much action as we can.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, that was kind of ridiculous.
I would say it's also kind of random because
I guess that's the reason why it's not in my notes because I had no words for it. I was like, wait, what's going on here? I don't know.
It's just kind of strange that again, he's just traditionally we knock him out, then we go to that scene with Matlock you were about to get into, and then we cut back to this. But no, we have
exactly, right. Okay,
Hudson kind of gets his revenge here, where he chases him and he overpowers him and basically kind of interrogates him here. Then Phil goes into his stuff here. Importantly, kind of his out. His motivations for making the call. He admits yes, I did make the threatening call. I made the threatening call. I didn't kill her. We then check in after the Matlock scene. That's like half of the scene now, half of the scene later. So basically, he's saying his wife left him after Maggie. He assumes botched the operation. And he was going to the party to have it out with her. He didn't really let her have it. And then Hudson has a real nice sympathetic moment with the man. Hudson's really good in this. I gotta tell you, I enjoyed Hudson in this.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, nothing like spectacular. So,
I mean,
Hudson's like
you can't beat a side character like Howard Hamlin, that's for sure.
Well, of course. Yes, Hudson's offering some sympathy for basically it's nice to talk it out, talk it over. Anyway, then we have Matlock. Matlock's trapped by to spread Christmas cheer to the judge.
Yes. Now, I want to bring this up now. Is the judge the Scrooge?
Yes, Tiki, the judge is a Scrooge.
Okay.
Maggie was also a Scrooge, but she died, so she doesn't count.
The judge has a small Scrooge arc, but it's there. It's there if you're looking for it.
Yes, it is.
He brings a tree at the end. Spoiler alert.
It's our first judiciary Scrooge.
Oh God, is it? Is it our first judiciary Scrooge?
Or judicial, if everyone.
Oh,
it's our first judicial Scrooge.
Oh man. Okay. So what is up with this judicial Scrooge?
So basically, Matlock's inviting our Scrooge here to an office party, Matlock's office party.
I'm going to ignore your attempt to influence the outcome of this trial, Matlock.
And this is nice. This to me again, this is kind of like synonymous with kind of a Jim McGill moment from Better Call Saul here. Again, it's like you're an early Jim McGill, very much like Matlock here. It's very simple. We're saying, no, it's not that. It's like, no, I'm not trying to influence you. I know, and this is really nice.
Where it's like he has more of a reputation than Slippin' Jimmy than he probably deserves in season 1.
Yeah. And he's basically saying, I know you're without your children this year. Basically they're not with him, so he's going to be all alone for the holidays. How about basically saying, why don't you show up at our Christmas party? I'm just, often you'd be alone around the holidays. No one should be alone around the holidays. He says, I'm busy. Very Scrooge. I'm busy. How about a happy humbug? Again, this is like the Jim McGill kind of rapacious wit of Matlock here. Then he leaves. But he leaves with a Merry Christmas thing. Merry Christmas.
Which is really nice. Really nice.
And again, the judge kind of takes him with kind of he's thinking here. Like, oh, that Matlock. I don't know what goes through that guy's head.
Okay, so let's see. So we cut back to Hudson. Hudson's talking things out with Phil. Let's see. He could have killed Maggie. He was mad enough to kill Maggie, but someone beat him to it.
Let's see. So, right. So let's see. He basically saw who the possible killer was, but he has his own problems.
Did he have any distinctive features? He looked like Santa Claus.
But Phil has his own problems. He doesn't want to get involved, and very obviously, he did see something. He's saying, "I don't know anything. I didn't see anything."
And of course, Hudson kind of appeals to the sense of humanity. He's like, look, I got a client who's going to spend Christmas in jail, and if we don't find the real killer, he might not live to see Christmas at all.
Yeah.
Very high stakes. And there's also a hyperactive little girl who adores her daddy, and gosh darn it, you don't want to see them separated.